Today's meditation, a theme for this week, is all about tapping into your personal power. So today's meditation is titled, You Are a Powerful Creator. Good morning, Laura. And we're going to explore a little bit about how we create and look at how we can really tap into this creative energy and co-create with kind of that emerging impulse. Good morning, Susie. It's almost a continuation of last week where we went through the process of looking at how we move through transition. And now we are moving into a space of deep creativity. Good morning, Erin, and good morning, Susie. So happy, so grateful to be gathering with you in practice this morning. Before we go into the practice, I just want to share that I am sharing on this very topic with a little bit more oomph in the Rise Digital Summit this week. And that is happening this Thursday, May 7th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'll post a ticket link I think I already have, but I'll post like an exclusive ticket link in the Inspiration Network group. And this is a really powerful conference that's happening. I highly suggest that you attend. It's for anyone who is really looking to rise, to tap into their personal power, to tap into that creative impulse, and then also to gather with a group of women who are business owners, who are powerful creators, who are looking to make a difference in this world, and who are leaders in their own right. The beautiful thing about this conference also is that because it's online, it's super affordable. So I was going to be part of, in helping to promote and then also attend the on-site summit, the conference that was happening in Lake Louise. And that over 4 days was about $1,000. So this is a really affordable way to tap into the vibe to get all of the goodness. It's between $24 and $30 depending on if you're a member. So affordable, so worth it. Their headliner, their keynote is Molly Bloom of Molly's Games. If you've seen that movie, she's a really incredible entrepreneur and gone through the ringer. Okay, so when we are tapping into our personal power, it's essential, similar to moving through the process of change, that we look at what is standing in the way of that, what we have in how we have given away our power, and then also how we have created blocks or barriers to tapping into our personal power. So again, very similar to this process of change, when you want to move through it consciously, when you want to be very aware of the process happening within you, then you need to move through a few stages to get there. The first one is awareness. So being really aware of how you give away your personal power, and also how you can reclaim it, how you can actually bring back that personal power. And that takes us into the second step, which moving from awareness into that active reclamation. So the active reclamation of your personal power. So if you have been giving away your personal power, even if it's very subtle ways, it's about bringing that back, reclaiming it, bringing that energy back to you. Now, this can be so subtle, so subtle. And we'll move through a meditation to kind of inquire into how you are giving away your personal power. But some of the ways that I have been doing it, and it's habitual, it's a learned thing, that I didn't really recognize until more recently, was even just in the way that I speak about myself. So if I downplay my light, if I downplay how creative, how powerful I am, that is a way that you give away your power. If I am saying yes when I mean no, that is a very big one. And that's probably one of my biggest ones, because I have this impulse, this urge to give, to support, to uphold community and just togetherness. And at the same time, sometimes I will let that impulse take over everything else. I will sacrifice my energy. I will sacrifice what it is that I am moving into, or the next creative urge or impulse that's coming up. And so I've become really aware of this, really aware of the ways that I leak that energy, that I give away that personal power. And then reclamation is all about finding ways to draw it back to you. And this can be very gentle. It can be simply an intention of drawing it back to you, and then noticing every time you give it away that you just subtly say, oh, okay, I'm giving that away. I now reclaim my personal power. It might be a conversation that you have with a loved one, somebody that you might be giving away your personal power to. I was doing this with my kids as an example when I was doing for them. I was doing more work than was my fair share. And, my kids are teenagers. Well, one is a teenager, one is almost a teenager. And they've been so good at helping over the years. But really, like, I was still doing more than my fair share. So, we have really good boundaries in place now where they have their set chores and they do them. So there's lots of ways that we leak our personal power. There's a lot of ways that we give it away, that we allow other people to hold that. And in reclamation, in bringing our personal power back to us, if we aren't familiar with how to manage our energy, how to manage our personal power, this can feel really uncertain. It can be difficult to know how to hold that personal power because there is a responsibility that comes with it. There is a need for knowing how to manage that personal power and how to respond to inputs. So people around you, situations where your personal power is being drawn. And it can feel a little bit uncertain, especially if you're used to giving away your personal power. So we'll look at that this week. And then the third step of tapping into your personal power and really owning the truth that you are a powerful creator is tapping into your core vision. So we always return here. We always come back to this space and we create out of this space. So to truly know how powerful of a creator we are, we have to know what our highest creative impulse is and learn how to tap into that, how to activate that. And this is what we're exploring all week. This is what I'm going to be really going into with the Rise Digital Summit. And this is a very powerful week. This is a week that will help you to shift out of any sort of victimhood, any sort of boundary breaches, any sort of ways that you are keeping yourself small. And we're going to move into a space of activation, of true creative power. So I invite you along for this journey, and I'm super excited for this. This is probably going to be the last week that I'm going to be doing meditations every day. I'm going to be shifting to either once a week or twice a week, something to better honor my energy. And while I love showing up every day, I'm feeling called really strongly to create a course and also to continue writing my book. So I just have to manage my own energy, similar to what we're doing here together. So that is a shift that's coming, but I'll check in with everybody and see what days work for you. So let's get to the meditation so that you can really experience what I mean about reclaiming your personal power. So you can find your seat of meditation, your position, whether that's seated or laying down. We will be doing, for sure, a standing meditation this week, because in reclaiming your personal power, you need to hold a power stance. But for this first day of exploration, just take whatever position feels comfortable for you. And I invite you to arrive in this moment, allowing whatever has been holding you stuck outside of presence, whether that is feelings, memories, fears of the future, to come with you into this present moment. And if you haven't practiced like this, so if you've heard that you need to leave it at the door, that is definitely one way to explore, but we are going to explore by bringing everything with us. We are going to allow all of our feelings, our thoughts, our memories, our fears to have space in this meditation. And this is actually the first step in reclaiming personal power. Because if we deny any part of our experience, if we deny any part of our feeling, of our present moment beingness, we are automatically cutting ourselves off from our fullest expression of personal power. Our feelings, our memories, even our fears, our anxieties, everything is part of the whole. Everything informs this present moment. So bring it with you, invite it in. And so, with that here, with everything present, I invite you to focus your attention, your awareness on your breath. And we are going to take really deep belly breaths here. So imagine your belly expanding like a balloon on your inhale. So breathing deeply in, and then as you exhale, your belly sinks back towards your spine and the breath exits. So inhale to draw energy in, all the way down into your belly, really ballooning out. Exhale, pulling that belly slightly in at the end. The air, the energy is exiting. Continue that process of really deep inhalations, filling the belly, and then exhaling to release. So when we breathe really deeply, so continue to do so, when we activate this deep breath, we are stimulating the vagus nerve. We are stimulating the relaxation response and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. This is so good for shifting into a space of presence, a space of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual presence. So, this is something that you can do, an action, a tool that you can draw on to help bring yourself into presence and activate your personal power. We're focusing on our belly because this helps us to really activate the lower chakras, which is the seat of our personal power. And because it stimulates this activation of the vagus nerve, which is the longest running nerve in the body, touching into the gut, moving through the heart and into the brain. So it affects all of your body systems. And one of the detriments, or one of the ways that we tax the immune system and the nervous system, is through something called hypoxia, which is where we have lower than normal amounts of oxygen provided to the body. And so there are a few things that are actually happening in our world right now that are causing this. Stress is a big one. When we are stressed, we don't breathe deeply, and it causes our sympathetic nervous system to go into overdrive, and this can divert oxygen away from the body systems, moving only to the what's considered essential, so the heart and even the extremities, so that you are you can run away from danger, but it moves away from your brain and it moves away from a lot of the other body systems, including the immune system. So keep activating those deep breaths. And if you're feeling at all lightheaded, continue to breathe, but you can ease off a little bit. But just know that that's because you're activating this flow of oxygen. So, another way that we are actually creating hypoxia is through the use of masks. And I'm not saying to not use a mask, but just know that when you are wearing a mask, that you aren't breathing in as deeply and you aren't breathing in as much oxygen. You're recycling your air. So just know how important these deep breaths are in this time to boost your immune system, to help to reduce the stress response, and to tap again into your personal power. So you can ease off in these deep breaths. Just intend that the breath is deep, intend that the oxygen is circulating. Know and trust that this awareness, this intentional breath will help to activate the flow of energy, the flow of oxygen, and the activation of your parasympathetic nervous system, your relaxation response. And I can feel it already in my body. I can feel the energetic activation. And in reclaiming your personal power, so in really owning your personal power, we first start with awareness. So I invite you into the inquiry. Where is it that I am giving away my personal power? And if it helps for you to center your focus on an area, I invite you to focus on your solar plexus. So that's the area just below your ribs and above your belly button. This is the seat of your personal power. And so if you want to focus your breath there as you inquire into, this can be helpful. And so present this inquiry question. Where is it? How am I giving away my personal power right now? And see if you can locate well, you can locate a lot, but see if you can locate three ways. They can be very subtle, they can be very obvious. I'm going to share a few examples with you just so that you can see how pervasive this is, how easy it is to fall into this. So, one of the ways that I'm giving away my personal power is in not sharing honestly my opinions or my feelings and thoughts that are kind of circulating. And this is both in relation to what's happening globally and also what's happening in my relationships. So it's really obvious. And that's for fear of being judged, it's for fear of being rejected. And I can also see how I'm giving away my personal power by making somebody else responsible for my healing and for my happiness. So when my feelings come up of sadness, of grief, I immediately go to how somebody else can make me feel better. So just allow your own subtle ways of giving away your personal power to arise, to show themselves to you. And now we'll move on to the second step, which is reclamation. And so, for the purpose of this meditation, I invite you to bring up one of these ways that you have been giving away your personal power. Just whichever one feels most accessible and as though it needs addressing. Whichever one we can look at right now and explore how we can reclaim your personal power. So draw that one up in your energy field, in your awareness, in your mind's eye. And then ask yourself, present the inquiry question: how can I reclaim my personal power here? And just allow the natural response, the natural intuitive knowing to arise. It always surprises me the answers that show up for me. One of the things that always seems to show up as courage is, feeling the fear and doing it anyways. And so I can see how sharing more honestly about certain things can be scary. But the truth is that I don't want to be in a space or hold a position of being in a community or leading a community where I can't be fully myself, because then I'm attracting the wrong people. I'm actually sharing from a space that isn't true to me. So the people that are showing up will be in alignment with my false self. So that's so simple, but it was hard for me to see before. I can see how simple it is to reclaim that power. And I can see how simple it is to reclaim my power in my relationship as well. But we'll just stick with that one. So look at your own ways of letting go of your personal power and look at how you can reclaim in one of these areas. Breathe really deeply into this. So feel into what would shift, what would change if you were to reclaim your personal power here. What would change in your body, your mind, your energy? What would change in your outer experience? What would change in your relationships, in your work? So when you feel into that energy of reclamation, of returning to the truth of your powerful creation, the truth of yourself as a powerful creator, it opens up new possibilities for us. It opens up the possibility of creating again from the space of higher vision, from a space that isn't limited by an energy leak or by a misplacement of our personal power. So I invite you to inquire into this by asking yourself, from the space of reclamation, how can I create in a way that is aligned with my highest vision? How can I create in a way that is aligned with my highest vision? So again, I can return to the same example. So I looked at how I could reclaim my personal power by being aware of the fact that sharing out of integrity, sharing not my full truth actually attracts the wrong people. And now I can see so clear that if I want to create in alignment with my highest vision, that I need to share the truth. I need to share my truth. And so I can look at what that means for me now. And that is what is in alignment with my highest vision. So I invite you to do the same. How can I create in a way that is aligned with my highest vision now? And with this deep knowing, this activation of your highest creation, your emerging vision, let's link a feeling tone, an elevated emotion with this. You can choose the emotion or the feeling tone of gratitude. You can choose inspiration. If you feel deeply connected with power, then use that. Find whichever feeling tone or emotion can really evoke and hold this energy of creation, this remembering of your personal power. And feel that activation in your solar plexus. So feel this elevated emotion, this feeling tone activated in your solar plexus now. Know that at any time you need to draw on your personal power, you can remember and activate this feeling tone. This will help to bring you back into the space of personal power. It will help you to see how you are giving away your personal power, how you can reclaim it, and then how you can next create from your highest vision. Let's take 3 really deep breaths together into your solar plexus. So shine both your heart and your solar plexus forward. So if you need to move in your posture, we'll inhale deeply in. Exhale. Good. Inhale to activate. Feeling that elevated emotion. One more. Inhaling in, activating your highest creation. Exhaling to sink into, and so it is. Sink into that knowing, into the understanding, the activation of your creation, into your personal power. And so before you open your eyes, let's really sink into embodiment here. Let's sink into our body. So feeling the edges of the body, feeling the edges of our energy body as well, which extends beyond the physical. Really holding this new activation of our personal power. And it can help to envision the edges of your energy body as almost like a egg-shaped barrier, boundary. Let's call it a boundary instead. That's more true to what it is, because it's not necessarily holding things out or keeping us inside as a barrier might, but it is a boundary, an energetic edge that can contain our personal power and can prevent us from giving that away. And now let's move into the senses so that we can return to the space around us. So, feeling the edges of your body, it's activating the sense of touch. Let's activate the sense of hearing by hearing the sounds in your immediate environment, so in the room and then even beyond. And then when you're ready, you can slowly blink your eyes open, coming into this space. And just really feel what it's like to be in the same space now with an activation, with your personal power activated, with the knowing that you have done such important work here today in reclaiming your personal power, in really knowing how you have been giving away your personal power, drawing it back to you, and then returning to your vision and creating from this space. So this week, we're going to be going through various practices. Oh, you're so welcome, Travis. I'm so glad that you were here and able to join us. So this week, we're going to be going through the different layers of consciousness in activating this personal power. And then as a reminder, the invitation to join us at the Rise Digital Summit is this Thursday, and I'm going to be doing this, but on a grander scale. So it's going to be a really powerful activation in a very large and inspiring community. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for sharing these practices. It has been such a gift for me to remember how important it is to be in community and how important it is to share our gifts and to share from heart. You know, everything that I share in terms of the meditations are channeled through me in that time. And it just wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And deepest gratitude. Namaste. The light in me absolutely salutes the light in you. And I so look forward to sharing in practice this week. I wish you such a beautiful week and a day and reclamation of your personal power. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if there are any things that arise for you. I would love to hear. So wishing you such a beautiful day. So much love to you.